Yeah. So one of the challenge in the Citrix or maybe in the VDA environment is printing is one of the challenge. So what is the challenge? We'll discuss. So what is the challenge is here user have the printer. So what are the printer user can have? User can have a user attached local printer or user can have a network printer.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so user can have a local printer and the user can have a network printer. But in the VDI environment, what is the problem is the application is delivered to the user or desktop has been delivered to the user. Application or desktop is running somewhere. Okay, then how that user local printer is going to be recognized in the Citrix environment is one of the challenge. In the Citrix environment, there are 4 types of printers may be possible. So there are 4 types of printers are possible in the Citrix environment. What is? That is user local printer, user network printer, then server local printer, then server network printer. Can you tell me in this which is almost impossible kind of thing? Which is very tough to get the printer.
User local computer, I think.
User?
Local printer.
No. User local printer is very common use case.
Okay.
If you go for a bank or maybe airport, every client device, they can't go to printer, right? Because clients would be waiting for that.
Yeah.
Server
Okay.
local printer is.
Yeah, server local printer is not possible because we can't go to server maybe in a remote data center, right?
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So at least server network printer may be possible use case is there.
Yeah.
So server may be like both are in the same network and that network attached printer instead of attaching to the client device, we have attached it to the server itself. Okay, so these all the possible use cases we can have. Okay, so then like what is the problem here also is how the local printers or how the user network printers will recognize that device. With the USB trained devices, we may have the by default we may have the drivers. But what about these kind of, because every device or every printer will have its own driver kind of thing. So what is the meaning of OEM kind of driver? What is the meaning of OEM driver? Okay, say OEM driver is original equipment manufactured driver. Who is going to give that OEM driver for us? Okay, so now if you purchase a HP printer, HP printer, they will give one CD or DVD for you. In that they will have the driver, or nowadays they are giving you to download from the internet itself. From the HP portal, we may download that. Okay, we can download the driver. The driver we need to install because the driver is the like interface kind of thing between your operating system and between your operating system and between your operating system and the device. Okay, so that is the driver is required. If you don't have the driver, your device is not going to be recognized. Even if it is recognized also, all the features are not going to work. Can you tell me what is the main advantage of OEM printer, OEM driver?
All options are displaying.
Yeah. With the OEM, maybe with the normal that printer may be recognized with any of the default drivers. Okay, say your operating system also
Universal
will
drivers
have.
is some available.
So
But
those drivers are called as inbox drivers.
okay.
So what is the challenge with the inbox drivers is maybe only the basic purpose of the printing can be done, but the printer may have a lot of vast features. Those all the features are not supported by. Those all the vast features have been not supported by the
Inbox drivers.
inbox drivers. Those have been supported by the OEM
OEM.
drivers itself, OEM drivers, original equipment manufacturer. If I have 1,000 or maybe 10,000 users are there, everyone are using different kind of devices, and on the Citrix Zen or maybe in the VDA on server, which server the user connects, we don't know. Then that server printer need to be on that VDA multi-session OS. Say, is it impossible kind of thing, because the clients may have different the clients may have different
Printers available.
yeah, said different type of printers are they may be used. Said they locally they may install that OEM driver, but on the VDA multi-session OS they connected, we may have hundreds of multi-session OS or single session OS. There the application is running. Connecting to that drivers is one of the major challenge we have. Is it possible to install that many number of drivers in the Citrix? Even if you install also, another problem what it will come is, if any new device comes from the client side, again that printer need to be installed in all these servers.
Yeah.
I hope you understand what is the challenge, right? In the cloud also we'll get this kind of challenge. Okay, but Citrix has given a beautiful solution for this very long back itself, and very stable solution they have given. Otherwise, printing is also is very important in the client side. Say suppose you go for a bank or you go for a maybe airport, at the endpoint user location where the end user is working, definitely the customer who is coming to that, he may expect some kind of print or not. You maybe go to a book my show or say maybe a movie ticket counter itself. You'll expect the ticket print or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go to a hospital also we may require to print like lot of doctors descriptions. All those we want the prints should be worker. You go for a airport, you want maybe like ticket
Yeah.
is required or maybe board pass is required. So this kind of printing should be working very well. Otherwise, will have impact to the business.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what is the solution Citrix need to give? That is, if you have the local printers, Citrix is giving one universal printer driver kind of solution. What is the advantage with the universal printer driver? It would be with all the VDAs also. Okay, so what is the advantage with the universal printer driver is, that is the one point of driver solution for most of the printers available in the world. Okay, so that is one of the solution for most of the printers are available in the world. Okay, so that is the solution for us. That means most of the client printers are automatically going to connect with the Citrix universal printer driver. That universal Citrix printer driver should be on the
VDA.
VDA, that where the user has been connected. So with the single session OS, at least one user may be connecting. If it is a VDA for multi-session OS, different type of people would be connecting very randomly also. And
Yeah.
which VDA multi-session OS they connects also is little tough to identify. For that scenario, Citrix best solution is, Citrix has given universal printer driver kind of solution. Okay, Citrix universal printer driver kind of solution. So now here, what is the meaning of printer provisioning is, at the starting of the session, whatever the client printers we have, all those also are going to connect. Okay, and printer provision need to be handled dynamically. Otherwise, if I have 1,000 users, every day morning, they'll give the one ticket. That means 1,000 tickets every day we need to address. Okay, that printers need to be handled dynamically itself. This is one of the challenge in the VDI, but Citrix has given the beautiful solution for this. It's not only now, even in the ZenApp 6.5 Zen desktop, Citrix has given the beautiful solution. Okay, and the printing, how we are going to configure is, we have the customizations of the Citrix printing policies we have, and using the Citrix printing policies, that means in the Citrix policies itself, printing related policies also we have. Okay, so then what is your understanding of mostly Citrix recommend to use Citrix
Universal.
print server? Okay, Citrix print server provides universal printing support for most of the network printers. The universal print server uses the universal print driver. Okay, so then here this solution enables us a single driver on the multi-session OS to allow network printing from any device. So always, unless you have a very special kind of printer, it's not recommended to go for like OEM kind of drivers. Okay, so mostly we'll try with what is the problem with the OEM or inbox drivers? All the printed drivers need to be installed on that VDA on multi-session OS. The thousands of printer maintenance and new printers should be keep on coming. That's all like is very tough kind of maintenance activity. Okay. Then whenever like the user device is going to be connected, okay, automatically it's going to connect to the Citrix print server and the print streaming is going to happen. What is that meaning is printer here has been attached to the client device or print server and application has been connected to the Citrix. And here these all the network printers have been attached. In this scenario, in our office, we may have one floor, may have two printers or three printers like this. Those network printers are already attached to your print server and Citrix Universal Print Server is going to give the printing to that network device. Say this is a simple scenario, but the clients also will have the device because in the software companies, we may have print servers, but some business for each and every client also they want a individual printer. Okay, because the ticket counter guy can't go to each and every time to a print server and he can't give the printer, right? Okay, so in the software offices, mostly we will have
Each floor, 2 or 3 only.
a print server should be there.
Yeah.
Say in the client side, we will have mostly the local attached printer should be there. Okay, so now in this scenario, this example is a network print driver and that Windows print driver. What is EMF, XPS? These I'll explain. These are all the print protocols. XPS is like XML paper specification. XML paper specification. Now, even if you give the control P, we'll get this option. Enhanced meta file. EMF stands for enhanced meta file. XPS stands for XML paper specification. Can you guess which is recommended to give the less bandwidth? EMF or XPS? Any idea?
XPS, I think.
XPS is the advanced feature compared to
EMF.
EMF. So hence always Citrix also recommend to use XPS kind of printing itself. So these are all the different printing solutions from the Microsoft. XPS is recommended to use. XPS stands for XML paper specification. That printed the network over the communication will take less bandwidth also compared to EMF, enhanced meta file. Okay, so in this use case, there is one more problem also is there. Previously, nowadays we are getting very advanced printers. Old days we have the cartridge kind of printers, cartridge kind of printers. That is also one of the challenge. Those printed drivers and that communication is a very challenging kind of thing. Okay, for that XPS EMF also is not supported. For that also, Citrix has given the solution. That means you have very legacy kind of printers also in your environment. Citrix is going to give the solution for those. So automatically the printers are going to say whenever the session is going to be established, at the time of session established ICA session itself, printing is also is one of the virtual channel. Can you tell me some of the other virtual channels? Audio is one virtual channel. Okay, normal session like that display of the user, all the desktop would be one kind of virtual channel. Paint devices, COM ports, serial ports, printer ports, HDX kind of thing. All these are coming over the ICA protocol itself. Okay, so then automatically when the ICA session itself is establishing, all these printers also are going to auto create. All these printers also are going to Auto create. Okay. So then both the say in the device already in your office, when we join in the day one itself, like we will have the like maybe desktop admin or for the user itself will give a self-service portal kind of thing. User will configure his network printers. Okay, say, do you get the point? So that means when I join in my company, on the day one itself, I will configure my own network printer. Otherwise, if I don't know how to configure, I will call to a desktop guy. Desktop guy will come and in that floor, what are the printers are there, that network printers, how to give the print, he may explain to you. Means in the office environment, we have attached to network printers. It's a very rare kind of people, maybe managers or maybe senior managers, directors, they may have their local printers also, they may have attached. That also the desktop guy comes, but to the client device it has attached. But in the Citrix where that application or desktop is running,
On server.
on the server, at the time of ICS session, automatically that auto creation is going to happen. Automatically that auto creation is going to happen. Okay, by default, which of the printers are connecting is both the local network printers and local attached client printers are going to connect. If you have the more printers, what is the challenge here? What is the challenge here?
Conflict, right?
No.
The print can go to any of the
Yeah,
print.
most of the bandwidth would be consumed and ICA session will take more time to load it.
Okay.
Okay, so if more printers are there, by default, what is the behavior is, you may have a lot of printers on the client side. You can configure one printer as your default printer. Okay, so locally we have the printers we can configure as
One printer is the default.
default printer. Client default printer, either that's maybe a local printer or network printer, that itself is better to redirect to that. What is the advantage with that?
Automatically.
Yeah, only one printer, otherwise it takes a lot of time to load that session. Because this auto creation takes more time if the user having more devices on the client side. Okay, if the user having less devices, it connects fastly. If the user having more devices, it takes more time to connect to that. Do you get the point? Don't have issue. 1 second. Yeah, hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay, so auto creation refers to automatically the client local printers, client network printers are going to connect at the time of connection, and using the universal printer driver mostly is the default printing solution what Citrix is recommending for us. Okay, so then auto created printers install on the client device, and at the session also we are going to connect. Okay, auto creation policy enables us to limit the number of type of printers that are auto created. By default, only the client default printer is going to create. Okay, so then here very important one is there, print job routing. Print job routing. Okay, so now this is my device, this is my server, and this is my local attached printer. Then application where it is running, where my application is running.
On server.
On the server. Then if I give the print, whether local printing pathway comes or server printing pathway comes. Can you tell me here in this? Okay, by default, for the user local attached printers, if we give the print XenApp server, that print need to be transferred over the network, right? So here this job print is going to send over the virtual channel, and here this, who is going to give the print? This client device is going to give the print to locally attached printer. Okay, can you tell me what is the printing pathway? The server is going to send the print job to user device, and user device is going to send the print to local attached. But if the network printer is available, by default, what is the behavior is, if the printer is available to the network, in the server, if it is available, okay, so by default, the behavior is server itself is going to send the print job. This is the default behavior. If you don't like it, we can modify it through the policy. So we can modify it through policy.
Okay.
Can you tell me what is the default printing pathway? What is the default printing pathway?
In server to local machine
If
to
it is a user attached local printer,
network.
Client is going to send it. Locally we are going to send client itself. That means server is going to send to client. Client will spool the job. Okay, job is sent to from this over the ICA virtual channel. It is sending, and user workstation is going to send the job.
Okay.
Okay, so if it is so network based printer, and if that network printer is available over that share path is available to the VDA on server also, or VDA multi-session OS, then who is going to send the print job? Then the server is going to send the print job. What is the problem in this use case is, my VDAs are in US, my network printers are in Hyderabad. Then all the print jobs are going to travel over WAN traffic. All those print jobs are going to travel over WAN traffic. Okay, so in this use case, what is the problem? So more bandwidth would be consumed or not. For the local attached printers, we don't have any other option, but we can send that also. If the servers are in the remote location, then we can change the policy also. The network printing pathway, direct connections to print servers. We will have one policy. What is the policy name? Direct connection to print server. By default, what is the risk with that is, if that policy is there, what is the risk with that policy? More WAN traffic would be consumed, and the user also need to wait for more time to get the prints. Okay, because those jobs are travel over
through WAN.
Through over WAN traffic, it is going to constrain. Okay, so that is the reason we have the policies are there, that direct connections to printing policy also we are going to attach. Venkat, you have system is ready?
Yeah.
Controller is ready, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Then, so this is the challenge. Here by default, the behavior is job is sent to print server. If it is a local, your servers also in the local environment, then we don't have any problem. Okay, if servers are in the remote location, then better to go for direct connections to print server. We need to disable. So this is called as printing pathway. This is called as printing pathway. Okay, and Citrix Universal Printer driver is going to be installed by default itself. We no need to explicitly need to install this. Okay, and which is compatible with the most of the printers. But what is the major challenge with the Universal Printer driver? What is the major challenge with the Universal Printer driver? If the printers are multifunctional, those features doesn't work. Can you tell me what are the multifunctional features of the printers?
Scanning and
Scanning, fax, these kind of printer devices may not work with
universal printer.
Universal Printer driver. Otherwise,
only you use only print only.
Yeah, only printing can be worked. Okay, so that is a major challenge. But what is the advantage of the Universal Printer driver is, we no need to install more number of printers. So we can't install that many number of printers, right? Because the clients may have lot of local printers. Attaching those, all the printers would be very time consuming, and those printer driver management and those patches also it would be coming. So these are the challenges we have with the OEM kind of printers. But what is the main advantage of say connection time is very fast with universal printer driver or with the OEM driver? Connection, ICA connection would be fast with the OEM driver or
I think universal
the
printer
universal printer driver itself is very rapid. Okay, so then can you tell me what is the meaning of inbox drivers? Okay, so now we have a VD on server, right? We have Windows Server 2019, 2016. In that also there would be lot of printer drivers would be there, which given by. So who gave those printer drivers?
Microsoft.
Microsoft has given the printer drivers. Most of the companies will give that to the Microsoft also. Those Microsoft also is going to include those printer drivers. Okay, so we can try those printer drivers also. But which is recommended is Citrix Universal Printer Driver itself is recommended to use. Okay, so that Citrix Universal Printer Driver itself is recommended. But the Citrix UPD is going to be installed. And EMF is enhanced metafile kind of format. XPS is XML paper specification. That is the new way of printing. Okay, so there is one more PCL5C, PCL4. These all for the legacy kind of things. We have, I said, right, we may have the cartridge kind of, inkjet kind of legacy printers. Now, no, very rare people are using. But you have some of the client devices having, okay, say legacy kind of printers, then that PCL or maybe print formats, these all. Okay. So you can tell you are using XPS drivers. XPS drivers. So now here this is having the user device and we have a network printer or maybe local attached printer. At the time of user session, that printer is going to be sent. And in this this is your VDA server or VDA multi-session OS. Then Citrix Universal Printer Driver is going to recognize this printer, and this printer is going to connect at the starting of the ICA session itself. At the starting of the ICA session itself. If some users are complaining that if the ICA sessions are taking more time, then we can consider one kind of setting also. First deliver the session, later connect you to printer devices. So in which use case you will suggest for this? If the user is complaining, printer creation is taking more time, until the time
user not connecting.
the use sessions are need to connect. Users are not connecting to that session. At that moment, first we can give the session. Later, printers can be auto-connected. Maybe it may take 2 to 3 minutes. Then that printers may be created also. That kind of solution also will give. All these we can configure through.
Which policy we configure this time?
We have the Citrix policies. We'll come to that session.
Okay.
So I'll explain all the. So we'll connect to that studio. Okay, so from 7.6, 7.15 wise, I'm telling the concepts. Okay, so we'll connect to that and we'll see. 99% there are no changes. Okay, so in this is the local device itself. This local printer, this session is going to be connected, and for this also we use printer driver itself. Okay, what is the disadvantage of if you use like a OEM driver is that OEM driver need to be installed in all the server OS, and in the Citrix environment will have the print spooler service, and that is a Citrix Microsoft also will have the print spooler service, and that universal printer driver is going to recognize that device. And on the client side, anyhow, this printer, if you want to recognize on the client side, definitely we required,
OEM.
yeah, printer driver should be there. But at the server level, it is going to be connected to universal printer driver, Citrix universal printer driver. So now here we'll discuss some use cases. We need to suggest the best printing solution. Here we have a branch a small overseas branch is there with a few Windows workstations, and every user workstation has locally attached private printer. Okay, so then branch B is like we have a large branch office, and with the thin clients they have, and Windows based workstations we have, and for increased efficiency, the user of branch state network printers. So branch A is a small office and they don't have the network printers. They have the their own local private printers they have. Branch B, the devices are maybe the thin clients and Windows based workstations, and they have one network printer. They don't have the private printers. And already they have the Windows based print servers are there. Those print servers, they're going to give the prints. And the home office, with that they have the operating system is maybe Apple like Mac OS they have. Apple they may be using, and user devices. Okay, and that access the Citrix applications have been delivered through Citrix. So for all these three,
branch A.
branch A is a small, it's maybe offshore kind of thing. So
Branch B you told, sir.
branch B is that is also offshore, but bigger office. So maybe one example you can tell is India one is a bigger branch office, home office in US, another branch office maybe in maybe like London, Paris, somewhere they have a branch A. Branch B is maybe Indian kind of branch office. Home office is in the US they may have.
Not that type, sir. It's telling laptop. Like branch A, which laptop?
No, not laptop.
Branch B, you think client. Branch B, think client.
Thin client means
Windows
not
workstation.
laptop.
Windows workstation means their laptops only, right? Or maybe desktops.
Thin clients means only one server, multiple like VDS.
Thin client is like even smart TV is also just like a thin client. It doesn't have the CPU kind of thing. Okay, so thin client will come with a Windows kind of mobile kind of operating system like this, or you have heard about Android box. Okay,
Yeah.
so like that we are going to get the thin client kind of thing. Even we have zero client also. Okay, so what is the concept of zero client is that OS also embedded from the one server. Okay, that means even the OS also is not in that device. It's also booting from
Server, OS server,
one
netbook
OS
server.
server. That means in the real time when we are using the Citrix, again they don't go for laptops or desktops. The end users may use thin client devices. Those doesn't have again the CPU kind of thing. Very small embedded box kind of device will come. From that they are going to boot.
This comes under branch B. Branch A is optional.
No. Here the company having 3 branches. For them we need to give the
Okay.
solution.
Okay.
Okay. So now what is the Citrix printing solution we are going to give for this? We'll discuss. For the branch A, they have the local attached printers. Maybe through USB, those printers have been connected. For the branch B, they have the network printers. And branch C also, they have the Mac-based devices. And those have been also local printer. For the branch A, okay, so therefore, auto-created client printers and universal printer driver has been used. So what is the solution we are giving for the branch A? They have the Windows devices, right? Then auto-created client printers, and on the server side, we have the universal printer driver. Come again.
No, no.
Okay, so then like what is the advantage we are going to get for this is the performance of that is going to be very good. Okay, and the print can be compressed and it will save the bandwidth. For the branch B, we are going to use Citrix Universal Print Server. Okay, so Citrix Universal Print Server all have been attached to Citrix servers itself, and those servers itself are going to transfer. Okay, all those servers are going to be transferred
Transfer to network printer
to
and
the network printer to that devices. For the Windows-based workstations, that I said, right, we'll have the local IT team would be there, desktop admins would be there. They will install the network-based printer. In our company, like most of them are very technical guys itself. Okay, so we used to have a one self-service portal kind of thing. With that, we will choose which of the printers are there in our network. Otherwise, the same configuration, who will do? A desktop admin will do for us. Okay, so then for the branch B, what is the solution we are going to give is, what is the branch B? For the thin clients, anyhow, we don't have the drivers. Then the client connects to the virtual desktops or applications. I'll tell one example. Say, assume a thin client is a mobile kind of thing. Okay, we can't give mobile to maybe like nowadays now the printers are getting the printer options, but previously we don't have that kind of printing options. So now we may give over the Wi-Fi like this we are giving, right? Now here who is going to give the prints to the thin client devices? That session itself, that means that universal printer server over the network itself is going to give the printer to that appropriate printer, it is going to be given. Okay, that means on the client side, they don't need to configure. On the client side, there is no printer configuration. But once the user connects, automatically based on the session, we are going to give for that particular branch B users. That means here we are going to filter based on, we can apply the policies, right? There we will choose the OU. The branch B OU would be different. Branch A OU should be different. And branch C OU should be different. That means in the organization, like in the Active Directory, we are going to create 3 branches. For the 3 OUs, we are going to create. So even that is the reason we have the OU, right? Organization unit is for that purpose itself. Okay, so then what is going to happen? For the branch B kind of devices, we are going to give those like automatical printers. Then on the thin client, no need to configure anything, but they will connect to the session over the server. And if they give the print, automatically it goes to that network printer. That network printer, who is going to send that printer? That server is going to send that print job.
Sir, in office, if multiple network printers are there, how?
Yeah, that's all we can attach to that. Otherwise, based on the instead of OU, so then if you connect all the 4 network printers, say suppose in my office I have 4 network printers, all will
Okay.
come. If I am in the third floor, the third floor printer I'll give the
Default one, default.
yeah, that no, the user will select to which printer it need to. He may get all the 4 network printers, then
Okay.
user will choose.
Then it's okay.
Okay, so otherwise the filtering can be done based on the IP addresses, but now we don't have IP address based filter.
Okay.
So client IP address base is not a recommended one. What I recommend to apply the policies are better to apply based on the OU itself.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Anirudh.
For giving this desktop admin, people will use this OS configuration for these printers, na? For that
No need.
separate team,
Thin client side, no need to configure anything.
separate team will be there.
Yeah.
We only should,
On premises desktop team would be there.
we only should do.
No. On the branch B office, they'll have some desktop admins.
Okay.
They will take care of those things.
We will only do Citrix workspace
Yes.
receive.
Citrix thin client wise, if there is any problem, Okay, that would be in the warranty. We can throw the device, will connect to the new device. Okay, and that device provider would be there, right? Like maybe Dell
Yeah.
or who is the provider, he will come and repair it.
Lenovo.
Okay, so there is no waste of time, maximum 10 to 15 minutes. On the thin client side or zero client side, if there is any problem, okay, you just remove it, connect to the new device and you can start the working. Okay. So then what is the second printing solution is for the branch B, it's recommended to go for network printing. Network printing. Okay, so then no printer drivers have been installed because we are not installing no printer drivers. We are going to use Citrix Universal Printer Driver itself is used. Okay, and all the client printers are going to be auto created. Okay, so then those printers also with the like print servers by default they are sending. For the local printers locally we are going to send. Okay, so then here we have a session printer policy for each and every floor for branch B. So Sanal ask one question, right? So this we can apply. A session printer policy can be used for each floor of branch B and applied to all the thin clients irrespective to their floor.
Okay.
But this is not at the OU level, we can't do. But at the floor level, based on that IP ranges, we should be able to do.
Network team, they will configure like
Yeah, so suppose mostly the DNS in the enterprise is floor-wise itself, the DNS scope would be there.
yeah, virtual LAN created.
That
They will.
scope, based on the scope, I know second floor scope, third floor scope, fourth floor scope. According to that scope, that session printer I'm going to attach.
Those network printers only displays.
That would be displayed. I may give two options also. Maybe if third floor is not available, at least if the print is important, I'll go to fourth floor and I'll get the printer.
Hmm.
Okay. So then like these all the things we need to give the solution. And mostly clients see also having these like Mac devices and those printers itself, right? Then that is also auto created and universal printer driver is going to be used for the local office also. But here branch B, what is the major challenge is it consumes more bandwidth. It consumes more because mostly your servers are in the home branch, right? Okay, from that location to branch B is maybe in another location. Home branch is maybe one location. Mostly we'll keep near to home branch. From there to branch A, it is going to send the devices. That will consume more bandwidth. That will consume more bandwidth over the WAN. Okay, so then one of the common issue every day we would be getting from the users are my printer is not working. Okay, so my print is not working. Okay, so these kind of issues every day we would be getting. Okay, so on the client side, whether that user have that like to use the printer, we have the permission or not. If they don't have the permission on the local side at the time of auto creation, also that user is not getting that permission, but he is contacting Citrix team to check that printers are not working. But we need to ensure that user first on the local mission. That's if we give any print, whether he is getting those print jobs or not, we need to confirm. And mostly printed driver wise also, is there any conflicts with the driver wise also, we need to check the compatibility of the printed drivers. And if it is a network printer, whether that network printer is available to the Citrix servers or not. If that is not available, what we need to do is, there is a policy, I said, right, direct connections to print servers that need to be disabled. Then who is going to send to that network printers? That client itself is going to send, and on before itself on the client device, that network printer should be configured to the device. Okay, if the network connectivity is not there between Citrix servers and network printers, then by default, that Citrix servers can't send the print jobs over the network. Then we need to disable the direct connections to print server policy. Okay, say I'll make a Venkat a host. Please open the studio. Go to Citrix policies, create a new policy, or we can open them. So by default, what are the default policies also in the unfiltered policies, we can check it. What is that meaning of unfiltered policies? By default, that filtered is that policy is going to be applied to everyone. So create a new policy, we can see all the policies. Their search for all settings, printing would be there mostly. Come to printing. Yeah, by default, auto create client printers, it should be enabled. By default, the default behavior also, auto create all client printers are okay. If some of the users doesn't want the printing, then for them, we need to disable them. Okay, so PDF, all these are not required. Scroll down. A printer redirection. That printer redirection also should be allowed. So printer redirection also is allowed, and printer names by default we are getting what are the local printer names we have, that itself we are going to get it. Okay. So then I said, right, direct connections to print servers. Okay, if the WAN is a constraint, then what we need to do? Say in which scenario, by default this is enabled. In which scenario we need to disable this one? If the WAN traffic is a constraint for us. Second one is the connection between the network printers and Citrix servers we don't have. Okay, then we need to disable this one. Okay, then that print job would be spooled to client device. Client is going to be connected to that network printer. Then client is going to send that job. So by default, come to that printer driver mapping, XPS would be there. Default, it would be XPS. Select that. Yeah, by default that is XPS. If you don't want, you can try to add also. Say if any third-party driver mapping and compatibility should be there, we need to give our driver name and that driver name. Okay, if the one printer driver is coming, that you can redirect with, say, assume I'll tell one example when we are going to use is, most of our office are HP printers itself, but we have different HP. We have different HP versions may have. Means printers are different, but the company is HP itself. Then HP given one universal printer driver solution for their printers. Then if any of the printer comes, we can redirect to that HP print server. But for this, what we need to do? That HP universal printer driver need to be installed on our servers. Then here we need to redirect to this one. But by default, this is not going to work because already we have that auto creation has been enabled. Cancel this. Yeah, by default, printer redirection also is going to be enabled. Session printers, you come to that session printers. So here we need to configure the UNC part of that network printers. Come to that select. Say here add that. Say here we need to give the UNC path of that. Say if it is the third floor you are going to apply, we are going to add third floor. But for branch B, what I'll do is I'll add all the 4 servers if you have. You got the point, Sanal? In the session
yes.
printers, I'm going to attach all the 4 printers also. But at least I'll give one training to the users. For second floor users go to this printer, third floor users goes to.
Okay.
Then here all the 4 session printers I'm going to attach. But if I want to attach based on the floor wise, then only that floor printer I will attach.
Every time they have to select manually that.
No, when they give the control P, all that will get that they need to choose it, or they can make it as one default printer.
Default.
Okay. So here we can give even by applying the filters of the policy, branch wise also we can give.
Okay.
But again, that need to be created as a separate policies we need to create. Separate policies we need to create. Okay. So remaining are we don't use mostly, but these are the important printing policies we should tell we are going to use it. And anyhow, EMF itself is recommended. Okay, come to that second. Next one, printer usage, printer driver usage. Second, next one. No, yeah, that one. So we are using mostly the universal printer driver itself. Okay, so what is this behavior is universal printer if the required driver is not available. If you don't want that behavior also, then use universal printer driver only. Okay, that means first it is trying for that particular compatible OEM printer. If not available, it is coming to universal driver. Okay, so but you choose the option, use only universal driver. In that itself, come to the drop down. Use only printer model specific means that is the OEM driver. Okay, so if I use this one, what is the problem? All those OEM drivers we need to install. Okay, fourth option is first I'll try for universal printer driver. If it is fails, I'll come to OEM driver or product model specific. OEM means original equipment manufacturer. Say if you purchase HP is your OEM. Okay, he is the manufacturer, right? He will give the driver. So we recommend to use universal printer itself. Okay, select that one. Yeah, cancel this. We come to the next option with the filters. What are the filters we have? Come to next. No, next option. So here these all the filters. Say suppose in that scenario we can choose the client IP address range. So go to the client address range. Assign that. So for this, what we need to tell to our DHCP admin for the branch B office for floor B give one DHCP scope, for floor A give one DHCP scope. That scope here we are going to give that. Say, no, not access control. Come back. For this, you need to change that second one, client IP address. That range of IPs we need to give. Okay, so what are the client IPs we have that we need to attach? Okay, so individually we need to attach that, but we will go for OU also. These are the filters where we can apply those policies. Okay, cancel this. And there is one concept called policy templates. Come to that policy templates. No, so policies beside there is a template is there. No, not there. Yeah, set templates. What is this templates is? These are the default recommended settings. So can you tell me some of the template names? High server scalability. Okay, second one is high server scalability legacy. Okay, optimize for NetScaler SD-WAN. That means this will reduce most of the features. Okay, fourth one is optimize for WAN. Fourth, say what the client want. He want more performance. He want more bandwidth is a constraint. According to that, the best settings they have given as the template. If you can't decide which policies need to be applied, automatically choose this. Automatically choose this templates. What is the advantage of choosing the templates? AWS is giving the best practices for us. AWS is giving the best practices for us. From the templates, automatically we can apply the settings. So it depends upon the branch office. Maybe one branch is in remote location, okay, which doesn't have maybe like a optimization, network optimizations, all those. And I want to reduce the bandwidth. Then most of the virtual channels would be disabled in that. But I want performance. Then in order to optimize the performance and Citrix more features I want to give because bandwidth is not a constraint in my home branch. Then I'll give good features to those users. So like this policy templates will help us. Depends upon the client requirement. What are the best practices we need to follow? Okay. No, that just saving that we can import that directly that template also. So these settings you can create while creating your own policy. So there it shows all the settings, right? And your settings and what is the template settings also we can compare. Okay, so one question is there that I'll explain in the troubleshooting part. Your printers are not auto creating. How to troubleshoot? Your printers are not auto creating. How to troubleshoot? That one I will explain at that printing while when that troubleshooting will discuss one session. On that I will explain. Okay.
Sir, like, is there anything need to be configured at the VDA end for the printer?
Come again.
Is there anything need to be configured from the VDA end?
VDA side, that printer server should be enabled or installed.
Okay,
If
in
you
the
want to
network
use a
part, right? Like
network
add
printer,
printer.
network printer wise,
Okay, okay, got it. Got it.
universal print server is there, right?
Yeah.
If you want to use over the network, that need to be enabled.
Okay.
Okay. Printer driver will come by default. Okay.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, sir.
Sure. Mostly with Saturday, we'll discuss NetScaler also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure. One second.